Today we're going to be doing the beautiful color analysis for some celebrities. We're going to start with Winona Ryder. This is a picture in her youth where her eyes are popping up a little bit more. Her hair, very beautiful and natural. And this is a very classic look that we're going to try to find the perfect colors for this celebrity. We're going to start by checking out the overall season for her. I've been thinking probably a few autumn accents that will do better. Let's try something not so pink, since as you can see, pink colors tend to get lost in her beautiful skin and colors, which are very, very similar to her eyebrows and eyes. So we want to stay away from these colors that are way too similar. They're still beautiful, but doesn't complement much. Let's try a more true autumn neutrals. A bit better. As you can see, it stands out a little bit more. Nothing too pale, nothing too pink, but these colors stand up a little bit more. So I'm going with true autumn neutrals in this area. I like this very much. Let's see something a little bit cold here. So you can see greens is something that it doesn't go well with this celebrity. I want to see something a bit darker but with a splash of color. I want to stay away from the musky greens. Let's see the blues, how it behaves with her. A bit better, but still too cool for her. These cool colors can make her look a bit pale, and we don't want that. We want her true colors to shine out. So this will be also a no-no. We're still with the true autumn neutrals. That it's a great tone for her. Let's see something into these colors. Much better than the first one, but these orangey accents can be too much. Maybe in this area we are okay. Purples, dark purples, it will be a nice color. We want to stay away with very, very pinky tones. This one here from the True Autumn Accents will be great. Not too much directly in the face, but as you can see in her lips, it's a bit similar to this color, which complements her. We are still winning with True Autumn Neutral color. Now let's see some soft colors here. Yes, you can see the difference. Makes her look very, very pale. I want to stay away from these colors. That doesn't complement much. And maybe you can see hair a little bit popping up at the top. But these colors will be just washing out her beautiful face. So we want to stay away from those. Let's go a little bit colder. Way too cold. Way too cold. Something that is definitely not working for her. not close to her face, maybe from for bottoms, skirts, pants, jeans, dresses, but definitely nothing too close to her face. We're gonna go with this one. This will be her autumn neutral colors that will complement her, just staying away from the very soft pinks. Now, let's go with her makeup. Here we have a very beautiful example of makeup for brown eyes, brown hair, and very soft lips. Let's use our color wheel for this one. Now we have very beautiful light brown eyes with a bit of accents of green on it. Barely visible, but it's there. So what we're trying to determine here is which color is gonna be best for her eyeshadows, which we already know greens can be a bit difficult, but maybe let's check this out here. Nothing too bright, a little bit darker, which will be consistent with the hints of green in her eyes. They are beautiful, but my guess here will be bronzer tones, which, let's see, we have red, orange. I know that in this lining it could be a little bit difficult to notice it, but it's definitely giving us these very complementary colors, which are the brown tones here. This is what we're looking for with this kind of features, with brown eyes, brown hair, a little bit of hint of green, not too much, maybe hazel eyes too. But Winona has very beautiful colors, very warm, and can fall into summer colors, but also autumn tones. Yeah, green, something darker with green, something that is closer to brownish color will be great. The same with her eyebrows. Now it depends on how she changes her hair, but mostly along her career, her hair color has been consistent with dark brown, light brown, nothing too crazy, because reds, blondes will be something very odd with her color palette. But she has been very great, well, at least her team, with her looks, staying with her color palette. Yeah, definitely with the hair, if we go with red colors, that will completely wash out her face. So I would definitely say that we are with bronze colors for her eyeshadow, something similar to what we see in this beautiful picture, that it's consistent with that. Or maybe a little bit of black eyeliner can work, but less is more in makeup. The more makeup you apply, the harder a face looks. Green olives, something closer here will be nice. Nothing too bright, too greenish will be safe. But definitely we're gonna say these colors, very earthy tones in her eyes, will work great maybe a little bit of gold. Yeah, I would say gold is also a safe color that is gonna work perfectly for her eyeshadows. Maybe, as you can see here, a hint of silver, but barely noticeable. This is mostly for the camera, but her eyeshadow is consistent with what it shows in the color wheel. Now her eyes, very beautiful brownish color. If we go with purple, with blue, these cool tones, it's something that just simply doesn't match her color palette. As you can see, the green, it's too much. Now here, it's something that we like. These tones will work very, very good with her. Here too, colors that complement beautifully. I especially love this ones right here. That will look very, very good. This one, a little bit too, but it matches mostly her skin tone right here. Yeah. We're still on the safe zone, quote unquote. This one too, it shows mostly summer colors, autumn, but the moment we start moving into the cooler tones, you see the difference there. It just doesn't match out with her natural color palette. It's just too harsh. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't want to see too much blue in her hair. I'm sorry, her eyes, in eyeshadows. Tones that are romantic, it's gonna be very, very great for her. Something that is consistent with what we see in her careers, her movies. It's tones that are not too out of the ordinary, I would say. Brownish and brownish eye are colors that tend to be very beautiful when you stay in that area of earthy tones. It just simply complements her beautifully. But when we go with the cooler tones, it gets lost. All you see is blue. You don't see her beautiful eyes. You don't see her beautiful hair, eyebrows, lips. It just gets lost because all you see is blue violet, blue, or green. Colors such as yellow, something that can work too, depending on the tone. Nothing with the bluish. Maybe a little bit of brownish. Here we see a bit of orange. Just a hint will be nice. Yes. Beautiful color. Let's see here in the back, which is completely the opposite of the cooler tones, but it all falls down into the beautiful bronze, which will be her color, her true color. For eyeshadow, I will go with bronze every single time. I do believe it's something that is what she's wearing, but she has a hooded eye here that hides it, something that I also have. That's why it's very hard for me to put on maybe eyeshadows because it gets hidden with the skin. But you can notice it here, that it stands out a bit with a little bit of silver at the tip. This is just a splash of color to add some light to it. Now, for the blush. Here in this picture, I don't see really blush in it. I believe this picture might be from the 90s because it's when she was younger. Back then, we didn't really use much of that. But with her, I would say that we are still in this range of colors. Just a hint up of what her true skin tone is. That will be great. As I was showing you here, this one is gonna be a perfect blush for her. If you wanna add a little bit of shadow maybe here, but it make her a little bit older. Well, now she is older, but in that time period, this one will be great. Maybe for a blush. Nowadays, well, we already passed the contouring era. We don't do that much now. So maybe those colors are something that could work great with her. But I would definitely stay with colors that are not too flashy. Her beautiful eyes, lips, eyeshadows, and hair is gonna stay great with neutral tones, summer or autumn. I don't want to go with spring or anything cooler than the winter. It's just too icy for her. You see, too icy. We want to stay with the earth tones with her, tones that complement her naturally. We don't want to force it. That's why she's always been consistent with her hair color and her makeup along her years in the industry. And it's something that sometimes some actors just want to show up, and some people can pull it off. But I believe with people like us that have this kind of hair, brownish eye, can be a little bit difficult. Maybe a reddish copper color will be kind of okay, but definitely nothing blonde. Yeah, blondes will be something that it will definitely wash her out. I don't recall seeing her in a movie with blonde hair. I don't really remember, to be honest. I just recall her with dark hair, black hair, like in Beetlejuice. I remember that new movie. Black hair looks very good on her, but I do prefer brownish colors, which will be best. I do think that those colors are just so beautiful. Now let's see our fabrics here. This color for clothing will be nice. I remember in the movie Dracula, she was wearing this kind of colors, which I think will be nice and looks perfect for her. Put this a little bit up. Yeah, I do remember seeing her with this kind of clothing in that movie. I also recall maybe reddish. I think that's the last movie I've seen from her, besides the the show Stranger Things. But I don't recall the colors there. I recall it from Dracula, which were these colors, and they look fantastic on her, especially these colors here. Remember that I was telling you about the green, but these dark greens are good for her. Even a little bit in her eyes, but for clothing from that era, very nice. Cooler tones, I will go with this kind of baby blue. Dark colors will be a yes. Let's see over here. You see how pink tends to get lost here. Orange. I recall Beetlejuice, she was wearing a full red outfit. I don't recall. I think it was red. Oh yeah, it was the wedding dress. I think it was red. And I thought she would look perfectly. Especially with her hair. It was black, pitch black. Not blue. Definitely not blue. Good colors. Too pale. Gray, no. It's okay. Bluish, yeah, I will say yeah. But overall, I'm happy that along the years, she has maintained a look stable and classic, and it's something that it looks perfect on her. So now we're gonna pass to another celebrity, and is the beautiful Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, I sadly only have this picture of her with full glam as we see, but I already know her color. She's full, cool blonde, blue eyes, very pale skins. Sadly, in this picture, it looks more brown stones, but still can work with us. I already know with her she would be something more light. Yeah, it's not the perfect picture for this, but still, and this picture, as we see the black eyeliner, it's, for me, too much. Black, it just completely defines that. I guess this is for the photo shoot, but it's just too much for her look. She requires something more soft, and along the years, I think she has kept a very clean look. She has almost no makeup in most of her movies. I do remember her in the 90s in classic movies. Very soft makeup with her blue eyes. Looks perfect. Cool colors will be nice. Definitely, I would say brownish tones. It's a color that we want to avoid. Oh, maybe this one. I wish I had a better picture of her. But this one, maybe. I believe she has some sort of a tan in this picture. And the lighting doesn't help too much to truly see her colors. But I do know her. Well, not personally, but I do know her and her colors. Her eyes here look very, very dark, so it will be very difficult to achieve a full analysis with the color wheel out of this picture. But I would definitely say springy tones, soft pinks will be a color that complements her better than very dark eyeshadow. Yeah, this one is perfect for photo shoots, modeling, but daily life it's way too much. You can see the lips here. It's a brownish color. It makes it look odd. I would say more of a nude tones will be best. If she wants to stand up, a little bit of cherry red will be something safe too. But yeah, it's hard to say with this picture. Green sense, yeah, greens is not, at least with this picture and overall. green it's a color that I have a war against it sometimes. It all depends on the tone of green. Maybe very, very light, soft green could be something that can work. Maybe. These are definitely 90s eyebrows, early 2000. I do remember I did it to myself. Luckily, my eyebrows grew back. I know not everybody had the luck. Yeah, it's difficult to tell with this picture. But knowing her eye colors, I would definitely go with tones like this one. Very soft, romantic, purplish tones. Maybe a little bit of pink. A tiny hint will be nice. I would like to say something like that. I don't recall those colors. It's not like I follow celebrities that much to recall that. Maybe just from the movies, and I remember her. I think it was Emma. Don't recall, to be honest. Shakespeare in Love, maybe. Don't recall, to be honest. But it was period movies where makeup wasn't that much of a big deal in those movies. So it was mostly very toned down colors, something that looked good on her. And her two tones, nude colors like this on the eyes, and not too much. I will go with soft pinks, not hot pinks, nothing like that. It's over the top. What colors in this spectrum will be something great. Let me see something here before we go with our fabrics. Yeah, something like this. I would like to see her eyes. This one too. Not the best light for color analysis on this picture, but it's what we have. Let's go with the cool tones. I do think that cool tones can work. Yeah, depending on the shade. Nothing too grayish. Grayish is gonna definitely wash her out. Something like happy colors, like this ones, are gonna work very good on her. I do think that. But for her cheeks, for blush, has to be a bit of reddish. We'll go with number 8 and 5. 8 and 5 very subtle, not too much. Maybe right now in her era, I think she is a bit of a clean girl look. She doesn't wear much makeup nowadays. I don't recall she's doing movies right now. To be honest, I don't know. Just remember from the 90s movies, 2000 movies. But Gwyneth Paltrow has never been one of my favorites. I prefer Winona Ryder movies. Yeah, blacks, disgrace colors, just something that works against her. Is, yeah, I don't think that's a good look on her. She kind of looks like Gwen Stefani here. I don't know if you know who Gwen Stefani is. She's a singer. And I remember she had a look like this one in the late 90s. with her group, no doubt. I was super fan of her. She was a pop rock star, punk, something like that. So it was something that looked good on her. And she was also blonde, blue eyes, very pale white skin. But with Gwyneth Paltrow, I don't think it's something that works well with her. Not in the context of a movie star that looks more classic. Yeah, browns. Dark greens are definitely not a color that is gonna complement her. Yeah, not at all. These dark, swampy colors that I would call. Yeah, we wanna stay away from that. Bluish. Bluish with blonde for makeup. Don't know. I don't think so. I haven't done color analysis a lot with very blonde, blue-eyed people. It's been mostly close to more earthy tones, but I do think that it's gonna work with her. It's a color that could match her. Yeah, I definitely like the pink colors. You can see the palette, it even matches her skin. We put a little bit here along her eyes. We know her eyes are very bright blue, but here with the eyeshadow, it's just overwhelming. Very overwhelming, this color on her. Maybe from a movie. Don't recall. Just modeling, I guess. Let's see our fabrics. We have purple, grace. I know it's not the color. Green, red mustard, no nose, bluish colors. I don't like this, or this one, or this one here. I do like pink. This one is a no-no. Pinkish tones I do like. I don't know. This one, maybe. Don't really like that one. It's just too much cooler tones. Maybe I will go for clothing this one, this color. I do love pinks on her. It's a color that I do truly like. And right now I'm just recalling her natural colors, not directly from this picture, since we know it's quite difficult to tell from this one with all the very heavy makeup that I know that is not her true colors. But from her movies and photos that I have seen online, I think this color will be very, very beautiful. Bluish, I like. Yeah, baby blues. Maybe for blouses, a soft dress, something like this. It will be nice. Yellow, we want to avoid this since it can be very close to her hair color. I mean, it's not bright mustard color, but with blonde can be difficult to match. We have to find the perfect yellow for that. Let me see. maybe greenish yellow here. Could be a nice color. Let's see if I have it here. Something like this. Although I think this is too close to her hair. I don't want nothing too close to her hair color. That is for the tops. Bottoms can be, but not close to her face, especially not close to her hair. Nothing like that. But this color here, pinks, I really loved it. Soft pink, nothing too hot pink. Fluorescent, no. It's gonna make it look a cheap color, but soft tones will be very, very nice. Let's see my color wheel here if we have something similar. I do have a different color palette that could work for her, maybe. Which will be like the salmon color with the spring colors. And this is me just recalling from memory, not with this picture on itself, because it doesn't work. But this colors here is something that will really complement. We don't want to go to this area here, so we can stay right on this area, like the red that I was telling you about. I think it's a very nice color that will look good. A soft cherry color for her lips, yes. Even a little bit of reddish for the blush. I think in this picture they use bronzer. It does look like that. It's too strong, to be honest, but I think it does work in some level depending on the eye color, but this one I don't really like. If she was a rock star, it would work great, I think. But because in rock and that type of artist, color analysis really has no space. There is just pop-up colors, something that looks rough, and it can work. But for real life, I do think that is not a good match. As with Winona Ryder, she has been very consistent on her looks in her movies, TV shows, and I really like that. Oh yes, Winona Ryder was a blonde in Edward Scissorhands. I remember that. Yeah, I didn't like her like that as a blonde. I don't think it matches her, but I do remember now that she was definitely a blonde. Completely forgot about that movie, and it was, well, it still is some of my favorite ones from her. Forgot about that movie, but I was just thinking about Beetlejuice too much. But well, lovelies, I hope that you enjoyed this new color analysis. If you would like to see other celebrities having a color analysis by me, let me know in the comments. And I hope that you enjoyed